This is Kevin with Alpha Home Inspections. Today's date is January 19th, 2024, and we are performing a sewer scope inspection at 127 Telford Road in Oregon City. City tap has been reached at approximately 77 feet from point of entry. Point of entry is a 3-inch cast iron cleanout located on the northeast corner of the home. Water is run extensively during the home inspection, as well as to aid in advancing the camera. It's now been shut off and allowed to drain for approximately 5 minutes. We're going to pull back and see what we find.
It's so cold.
Yeah. So connected here at the city tap, this is concrete pipe. We are original to the home. We do see a little bit of the aggregate exposed. That is just from over time with a little bit of the water erosion to things. Having the aggregate exposed, it can allow for a little bit more of buildup to take place kind of in the crevices and whatnot. Other than that, though, it is sufficient. It is also noted that the home is currently vacant and unknown how long it's been vacant for, so the sewer lateral has not been utilized on a regular basis. Concrete's all pretty straightforward, but when we get to the cast, you'll start seeing, which we're close. There we go. All right, approximately 54 feet, we transition over to cast iron pipe. This is going to be the remainder of the sewer lateral for the home. Continuing on. So now what we're going to start looking at, we're going to looking at scaling. So basically just the cast iron that's failing from the inside out.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, which you can see, I mean, it starts just layering away to a point where it could get fairly significant, to where we won't even be able to necessarily see.
Is that a bend in the pipe?
That right there is a bend, and that's roots. So right here.
Okay, so roots.
So this is a root, yeah, root intrusion here on the right side. You can even see quite a bit of corrosion taking place right here. Common at any type of a coupling spot. That's where we see most of our root intrusion. But yeah, you can see all along right here. This is all roots.
What's the footage on that? 51, 52?
Yeah, 52 feet out, roughly. All right, continuing on. Another thing you'll start seeing too on the sides where it almost starts making like it's poking out. Kind of it's ridging out here.
Yeah.
You'll notice. That's just kind of that more excessive scaling taking place. And not necessarily a failure or anything of the pipe or collapsing, just that heavy scaling because that's where the water level's been at. So with the amount of scaling that we're seeing right now, it is going to be best to have the line at least descaled just so it can be evaluated underneath the scaling portions to make sure that there isn't any cracks in that or failure points in the actual pipe itself. Looking heavy scaling right here.
Yeah.
Can be determined at that point too if right there, even bottom corner, left corner at the 45 mark, we can see again some very heavy scaling, which has even potential to have a crack underneath it. But once it's evaluated, it can be determined if it's a candidate still, which right now it's not collapsed. So it's a candidate of possibly just lining the pipe from the inside.
Yeah.
Versus having to try to dig this entire line up.
Yeah, I was going to ask about lining.
Yeah, and so yeah, we see more there. More there. Just heavy scaling. Heavy scaling.
So if they were to line it, would they descale it and then the lining company lines it?
Potentially. Okay, we got some more buildup there.
Oh yeah, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
It's already flaking away a little bit too.
Yep. So it depends on them if they decide that, okay, because you run the risk of damaging the pipe to a point of failure.
Oh, gotcha.
And collapse, which at that point then you can't go necessarily doing the lining. So it's kind of what they determine if we can maybe hydrojet it, a little less invasive, number of different things, but what they're looking at doing is trying to clean it up as best as they can before lining it. But it's all basically one and the same. I mean, we're seeing all the same thing, just kind of repetitively, which is that heavy scaling. Another bend.
Lots of little jogs.
Ooh, yeah. Broken there on the left again.
Maybe a fitting?
Yeah, well, I was going to say right here is just a coupling joint. What I was looking at is just making sure it hasn't started actually collapsing there. It looks okay though. Again, just a corrosion. All right, coming up to clean out now. There's our clean out, again located just on the northeast exterior of the home. And this will conclude the sewer scope inspection.